Listen, update on Ethereum, which has taken a turn for the worst over the last several days. I've been covering Bitcoin and Ethereum very closely and very frequently just because they are the biggest indicators of sentiment in the crypto space. And we've gotten some warning shots over the past few months from some of the altcoins. And, well, Ethereum is just torn right down. This is the linear 2-hour chart. Please feel free to follow along. I'll have a link below in the description to the charts that I'm presenting. But we have broken right down through our support that I had to the point where we've actually gotten even lower than what I was calling previously the second wave. This would probably be the fourth wave at this point if we have this larger pattern intact, which we'll take a better look at on the bigger chart in just a second. But we've broken the crap out of our support. Lower end would have been 2,900. We've gone down as low as a 2,300, 2,304, somewhere around that. That's been the range we've hit so far. And we're not seeing too many signs of a bottoming just yet. I do see the MACD curling back up, as you can see down here. So maybe initial signs that we're going to turn right back around, not totally clear. But as far as I can tell, our bullish pattern is just holding on by a thread. I'm actually going to shift over to the bigger chart, which makes things a bit more clear. We actually have 3 patterns in operation at the moment. And really, the log chart does make things a little bit more clear. So we still have this green pattern. That's the bullish pattern. I'm not seeing that as my primary pattern at the moment just because of how deeply we have corrected. If we look at this bottom back in the midsummer 2021 as our bottom, and then this whole thing is our first wave rally up, does have 5 waves. It looks somewhat credible as a 5-wave rally. This whole thing could be an A, a B, and a C. Could be a 3-wave pattern. This could be identified as maybe an ending diagonal C wave. So the green pattern still holds some weight. It's not totally invalidated, even though it's not my primary. If this were to remain the primary, we really need to turn around real quick from where we are. We want to see at least a 5-wave impulse up just to get us started on the next leg. So that is still there. So not all is bad right now. If you're looking to buy longer term, could take a risk, buy a little tranche now. Full disclaimer, I have exited all my Ethereum positions because of my own trade strategy. I hold a little bit in my retirement accounts for the long term because I do feel that we're going to go much higher in the long term. But in my short-term accounts, I exited. Put some notes out there on the YouTube announcement section. And the red pattern is, of course, well, it was primary, but now it's unclear whether we're about to turn back around in a second wave bounce, or this new pattern, the purple, is the actual one that's in function. So this purple pattern is looking for us to be completing this fourth wave, but with a lower low. And a low could take us as far down as maybe, like lower 2,000 range, something like that. We're getting closer to that completion. If that is the case, that would be one heck of a pullback if that happened. But it's not as bearish as the red pattern. The red pattern, of course, says that this entire thing is our first wave down, and move this thing down to reflect that. Both of these are referring to here. This purple would actually be a little bit lower, and this would call for, again, a big bounce up in the wave 2. And very likely to be an ending diagonal pattern, because when you have a really sharp pullback like this, it just shows, and so it can also be qualified as a 3-wave correction down. Those are criteria for an ending diagonal in which all the subwaves are in 3-wave form. You have very deep retraces. There's a lot of switchbacks, so you'd have a sharp retrace in the second wave, and then your third wave could go all the way down the low 2000s range, have a pretty sharp bounce back, and then your fifth wave could end up in that target zone that we had earlier. I think I had 2100 listed at some point. Could go as low as 1700. I would expect to see a lower low than what we saw in the midsummer, and I think our low was right around 1700, something like that, because of the nature of our Elliott wave standard retrace points. 1700 would probably be the maximum. Could go as low down as 1100. That is where our major support sits for Ethereum specifically. So if we're going to go down that far, we've already got quite a head start on this. So not sure if we're going to have that bounce in the wave 2 right away, or we're just going to keep going down the purple wave. And there is a small possibility that that's the first wave, and then maybe we're only in the third wave down so far of this purple pattern. So if that were the case, the purple wave 3 would be here. We have a fourth wave bounce somewhere out here, and then our fifth wave could actually take us all the way down there. It'd be like an event of mass annihilation of all positive sentiment, which would be a great buying opportunity. So that's kind of where Ethereum stands right now. I'll be putting out more updates as I go, so don't forget to subscribe to get those. And until next time, thank you for watching and happy trading.